What's going on, beautiful people? So the rare ecosystem you can see here is now 3 weeks old, and it's not been as plain sailing as I would have liked or as I've had in the past either. First and foremost, the most important thing, all the fish are completely healthy. And to be completely honest with you, so are the plants. They're just growing fantastic. Look, loads of new growth on the top of this S. repens. The Hydroculture Japan is just intertwining with everything. Oh, and this rotala here, look at this rotala at the back, that's quite interesting. So I left it long and it started to sort of grow horizontal, and then at each of the nodes, it's growing extra plants that going upwards, which is really cool. It means you're gonna get like 10 new shoots across the one. I've not actually seen that before. It's probably because I've cut it before it started doing that, but yeah, it's quite cool. So in the last vlog, I showed you guys how we're getting some algae issues in the tank. Now, I did a few things to try and remedy that. They have gone to less, but I need to dilute the tank. All right, no problem. Just take the water down then, do a water change. What's the issue? Well, I want this to be an ecosystem aquarium like my other ones, which means you don't do water changes. But I suppose kind of me feels like a failure if after 3 weeks I've got to do a water change. But it makes sense if I'm honest and think about it rationally. You know, at the end of the day, there are a lot of fish in here. So even though the fish are small in this tank, there are a lot of them. This is probably the most heavily stocked tank I've ever had, to be honest. Now the rainbow fish tank here, which is fully settled in, I mean there's absolutely zero need for any water changes in this tank nowadays. It's been a good month anyway since I did one. It's just got these rainbow fish, hasn't it? Now that might change if I was to up the amount of fish we had in here. I mean, maybe not, because it's so settled in now with absolutely tons of plants. But then this ecosystem here, which has been running for nearly, 11 months, a year? Is it a year? No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I just checked the computer. It's been 11 months this has been set up. Now, I only did one water change. That was just after I set it up, and it's never had one since, apart from water top-ups, obviously. Yeah, my main point being with this tank, though, look, there's just a few little endlers and guppies in there. They breed, and lots of babies are born, but there's 2 apistogramma in there, a male and a female, and they tend to pick off any of the babies, so I never actually see any new ones, but I know they're giving birth. I mean, just look. The size of that female, I mean, she's about to explode. Now I have actually got some awesome plans for this tank very soon. It's going to be changing. It's definitely time, isn't it? It's run its course. It's a mission accomplished basically. But what I want to do is get an angelfish aquarium here. So if you guys want to remember, I did an angelfish aquarium, must have been 2 years ago now, and after I broke that down and moved on, that was the one fish that I was thinking, oh, I wish I kept those. I really, really liked them. I don't want to do what I did before, the complete mix though. I wasn't a massive... I really liked the glistening Lady Glitter Sparkles it was, the really sparkly one. I want to get like a collection, either those or the wild type that aren't. Do you know the ones that got like the red tops on them? Scalara, is it? Is that how you pronounce it? I'd love to have like a big group of those in there. Not too big, you know, but like enough to really enjoy them as the main feature fish. Then obviously other fish around them as well. What do you think about that? Awesome angelfish tank here. I want to do it backlit as well, so like a DIY version. And then of course we have got the African aquarium, which does get a little bit of algae if I'm honest. Like some of this Rickia here, look, you can see is just a little bit sort of molmy or algae-fied. There's a little bit on the glass as well, which collects quite a bit. Now the other tanks don't get that, so that is because I'd say there's a medium level of fish here, but it's getting harder and harder as the crebensis are all growing, because they're like, I don't know, I'd say halfway there. No, not even halfway there yet, are they? But they're much bigger than when they were first in here. And even the Congo tetras are just getting bigger and bigger as well. Look at the males now. They're nearly there with the females. They've got such great tails and that. Tails? Fins, I mean. Like the dorsal fin is just going huge, looping over. The colours are definitely there, aren't they? Look at that. Such beauties, love them. So my point of showing you all that is for me, myself really, to consider the fact that this needs a little bit more work than the usual ecosystem tank. There's more in there, there's just a lot more going on, isn't there? There's more waste being produced. It's just the start, so you know, nothing's fully bedded in yet. We haven't got plants over the whole tank, which we will have eventually. So hopefully I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. It's not horrendous, let's be honest. So on the wood like that, we've got that residue of algae. Now it is getting less for sure. And also look, on the whole back of the tank there, you can see all that string algae just going along. Now if I scrape that off, it's all going back in the water column. So that's why I'm saying I need to like do a full water change as well as scrape off the algae that's here. And then I think we'll be giving ourselves a much better chance moving forwards. Just that one big water change right now. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. I feel kind of relieved for some reason. I don't know why. I was putting so much sort of pressure on myself. You cannot do a water change, you cannot do a water change. It needs the water change. Look, it's a different setup, it's a different set of circumstances to all the other tanks, isn't it? So it's not a problem. Please forgive me. We have got some crazy oxygen going on now though, look. I also took out the filter at the back here. Remember, there's just a little internal filter in this tank, that one there. I don't know why it's at an angle. We'll just go with that. I took out the sponges, gave them a clean off in tank water. Sorry, you don't want to do it in tap water, obviously. Most tap water is full of chlorine and chloramines, that sort of thing, and it can harm the bacteria that's colonised the sponges, you see. So yeah, look, one of the easiest things to do with this would be to raise the light, reduce lighting timings. I've already done that already, dropped it by 2 hours from my usual 12, and also remove some of the fish. I don't want to remove the fish. I don't want to change the light levels. The floating plants we put in there last time, which are now going around the tank quite fast, they're going to multiply, so it's all going to come back in. It's going to rain itself back in, and hopefully we'll be back on track with this one.